Hey guys, this is Miss Harvey for day 2 of math class. I hope that you guys watched yesterday's video, learned a lot, and are ready to learn some more today. So again, as a reminder, if you have not done Thursday's math yet, you should pause this video and go ahead and work through all the problems. Come back to this video after you finish the problems so that you can go over these two with me and then check your work on the rest. So to start off class for today, we're going to start with a word problem. It says Debbie had 928 quarters. If it costs 8 quarters for each Coke from a Coke machine, how many could she buy? So first, what we needed to figure out was the operation for this word problem. So I know that she has a total that she is starting with, and she knows the amount in each group. She knows that for each Coke, she needs 8 quarters. So basically what we're trying to figure out is how many Cokes Debbie is going to be able to buy from the vending machine. So I know that I'm going to be doing division because I'm starting with a total. I'm trying to figure out how many groups I have based on already knowing the amount in each group. So the first thing I did to solve was I wrote a number sentence. 928 divided by 8 equals blank. Whenever we're doing division, we always know that we have to estimate first because the estimate will help us figure out if our answer is correct or if it's way off. And if it's way off, then we'll know to go back and check our work. So when you're estimating, you should always change the divisor first and get it to a friendly number before changing the dividend. So my divisor was 8 in my original number sentence. So I rounded that up to 10 because 10 is a friendly number. Then to figure out my dividend, I'm thinking of multiples of 10 that are close to 928. I know 900 is a multiple of 10 because it ends in 0. And it's pretty close to 928, so I'm going to use 900. So 900 divided by 10 tells me that my answer should be somewhere around 90. It's not going to be exactly 90, but my estimate will help me check my work. Next, I'm going to use a multiples list because it'll help me be more efficient in my repeated subtraction. So notice I did not start by doing 8 times 1 because those are facts that we already know. They're very small, and so I don't really need to write those out in a multiples list. I started with 8 times 6, and then I kept going until 8 times 10 on my paper. So now I'm going to start my repeated subtraction, and I'm going to use my friendly multiples, and I'm also going to use friendly groups of 10, 100, and 1,000 in order to help me be most efficient. We want to be efficient with our repeated subtraction because if we take too many steps because we're subtracting very small groups, then it's going to be a lot more likely that we'll make a mistake. So I'm doing 928 divided by 8. I'm going to start by subtracting 800. 800 is a friendly group because it's 100 groups of 8. And I know 100 times 8 is 800. It's a big number. It's close to 928. So it's going to make my work really efficient. Then I got 128 left over. So now I'm going to start using my multiples list to the side. As you can see, my multiples list has 80 on it. So I'm going to subtract 80, which is 10 groups of 8. Next, I have 48 left over. So next, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 48 because I know 8 times 6 is 48 because I know my math facts, and my math facts are helping me be efficient here. So after I'm done doing that, I add up all the groups that I was able to subtract, and I did 100 plus 10 plus 6 in order to get 116 Cokes that Debbie will be able to buy from the Coke machine. So as a reminder, guys, whenever you're doing word problems, first you need to figure out what operation you're doing, because if you don't know the operation, then you're not going to be able to solve. So I figured out I was doing division, and then I used all my steps and strategies from when we learned division. I estimated first, then I made a multiples list, and then I made sure that I was doing efficient steps. So what I want you guys to do now is the next question is another problem that is similar to this. So I want you to now pause the video and try out the next question, which is an architect was building a hotel downtown. He bought 399 lamps to put in the rooms. If each room gets 7 lamps, how many rooms does the hotel have? So I want you to make sure that when you're checking your work here, that your work looks similar to mine. If it doesn't, I want you to go ahead and add in the steps. Make sure that you've estimated, make sure you have a multiples list, and make sure that your repeated subtraction is really, really efficient. Okay, so now you have probably already done that problem that I just said because you paused the video and you did it. So now you're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a movement break. Right now, you should get up and do 10 jumping jacks and then comment below done whenever you're done. Okay, now that you had your movement break, now we can go on to the next problem. We're doing movement breaks because we need to make sure that this is still somewhat engaging. Even though you can't see me and I can't see you guys, I want to make sure that you guys are moving your bodies and, doing what you need to do. So we're going to go on to conversions, and we're going to use a similar format here. I'm going to do one problem and then I'm going to say pause the video, and now I want you to try the rest or go back and check your work on the rest of the problems. Okay, so to do these, I need to know my conversions. I need to have them memorized from when we learned them in the beginning of the school year. If you're finding that you don't have your conversions memorized, then here's something that you can do to advocate for yourself. You can Google the conversion facts. This does not mean that you're Googling the answers. This means that you are trying to Google the conversion facts so that you can use the conversion facts to do your own work. So there's a very big difference between what I am asking you to do to advocate for yourself and cheating using the internet, okay? So if you find during these weeks you don't have a resource that you need to solve a problem, then you can use the internet to help advocate for yourself, okay? So the first conversion was 5 kilometers equals blank meters. So what I need to do for every single conversion problem, I need to make a table, and then I need to make a number sentence that matches that table. So as you can see in my work, I have the table labeled kilometers and then meters on the other side. I know that for every 1 kilometer, there's going to be 1,000 meters. If you did not know that fact, you can easily Google that fact. That's an example of Googling the conversion fact and not the answer to the question. So then I know that my table is going to always give me the answer. It's always going to tell me what to do. So guys, if you're feeling like conversions are so hard for you and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Do a table, because the table is always going to tell you the answer. If I look at my table right now, I know to go from kilometers to meters, my number changed from 1 and then it went all the way up to 1,000. So I know that the operation that's happening there has to be multiplication. So I know that in order to go from kilometers to meters, I need to multiply by 1,000 because 1 times 1,000 equals 1,000. And if I want to go in the opposite direction, if I want to convert from meters to kilometers, then I know to get from 1,000 to 1, division must have happened. And I know that you have to divide by 1,000. So just by writing out my table and using my conversion fact, I already know if I want to go from kilometers to meters or meters to kilometers, my table can tell me what operation to do and what to multiply by or to divide by. So I'm going to write in the next line of my table that I have 5 kilometers and it's blank meters because I don't know the answer yet. And this is where the number sentence comes into play. So I'm going to write out my number sentence. I know to go from kilometers to meters, I need to multiply by 1,000. So I wrote out 5 times 1,000 in order to help me figure out the number of meters. And that got me 5,000. So I know that for every 5 kilometers, that means I have 5,000 meters. So now, guys, I know that you probably maybe didn't do a table and a number sentence because that's what a lot of 5th graders do in order to take shortcuts. But what I want you to do now is I want you to go back through your work and I want you to check it, or I want you to do the problems using this strategy. Because if you use a table and a number sentence to solve conversions, then you'll always be successful with the problems. So right now you're pausing the video, you're going back and you're doing B through H. And if you don't know a conversion fact, you know that you can advocate for yourself by taking a look at the conversion fact online and then using that conversion fact in order to help you solve the problem. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. We went over those two problems, and you should have worked through the rest of them on your own, in addition to the other problems that are for Thursday, March 19th. If you like this video and if you learned something new today, go ahead and press the like button and subscribe to our channel for 5th grade. You'll be hearing from us very, very soon, probably tomorrow. So in the meantime, finish up the rest of your work for today. Make sure that you get moving, do some exercises in your house right now, and talk to you tomorrow.